Welcome to the Google AdMob Masterclass, where we're going to speak about analytics for your apps. Today we have with us Adam. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Our mobile product specialist, and he's going to share with you best practices, but I'll actually let you introduce what is it exactly that we're going to hear today.
Yeah, great. So basically we want to step away a little bit from AdMob itself, but still keep with discussing how we can help you monetize more efficiently. And one key aspect for that is to really understand your user base and find out what are they doing in your app, how are they using it, what are the opportunities for that. So we put together a presentation, just a few slides to really talk through the key aspects to consider when implementing and following up with the reporting aspects with Google Analytics for apps. So just to get started, we'll just outline some kind of key points to consider. So Analytics is a really powerful tool, and it gives you an endless amount of data. It can be daunting at first, but trust me, once you get used to the reporting, you'll find new opportunities and new insights into how your users are interacting with your product. So let's make the right decisions based on data. So we want to discover who and where your high-value users are, where they're coming from, and what they're doing in your app. It's also really key for you to understand the user journey. How are they entering your app? Where are they going after the initial screen? Which events are they triggering that really allow you to then, as a developer, understand how to optimize the performance of your app for the user. Then we can also do additional things like measure in-app revenue. So what's driving us the most money, and also where are the opportunities from this to get incremental revenue. And then we can understand, different devices. So how are users using your applications across tablets or different phones. The real exciting opportunity here for analytics is that we've got a whole new user interface which is purposely built for mobile apps. So you can come in to the analytics dashboards and see customized reports based on your top mobile devices, or which screens they've been using, or which events have been triggered. Also, you can do interesting things like look at crash reports to find out exactly what's causing the struggles for your users and how you can then go about fixing those. So let's take a step back again and just really talk about your users. These are the most important things once you've developed your app, and really what you want to focus on as a developer to continue to optimize the performance. You want to understand how users are interacting with your app. I know you probably spent months building these applications, but you'd be surprised how users use the app in different and unexpected ways, and we want to use that as an area of opportunity. So are the users doing what they expected when you created your app? If they are, that's great, but if they're not, let's adapt and understand what we can do differently or better to maximize opportunities. Find out where they're spending the most time. This is a really key thing to improving monetization. So if you want to understand this, then we'll touch on that a little bit later. Where are they stuck? Look at the crash reports and the places where they're most commonly exiting your app. Is there something that's happening in your app that's causing this to make users leave? And if that's happening, then we can then begin to understand and analyze what to do to counteract that. And what do they want more of? So what are users coming for again and again? What's the most commonly visited screens? What's the most commonly triggered events? It's great to find out what users are enjoying about your app and perhaps replicate that in other products or other areas of the applications. So this is a key point I just mentioned. Which sections of my app are popular? Now, when you're trying to monetize, it's really important that you're putting your ads on places that are actually generating the most impressions. You may find that some screens or some parts of the app are getting more impressions than you would have expected, and we can maximize the ad revenue opportunity here by making sure that we're showing ads at relevant times to the users in these places. A second area of opportunity for monetization will be the flow visualization of engagement. So what we can do here is actually view how your users are interacting and moving throughout your app. That's actually a great opportunity for things such as interstitial ads. If you've got two screens, for example, that have a high transition for your users, then showing an interstitial here would be a very large opportunity, again, maximizing ad revenue opportunities. And then finally, just to call out a few more things we can do, is user acquisition. So this stands true for Google Analytics with Google Play. So we've now integrated both these services. So you can then, if you're running promotional campaigns or PR campaigns, you can see exactly where users were before they got to Google Play and then downloaded your app. And that's really great for maximizing anything you're doing in terms of advertising and return on investment, to then understand how different users from different sources are actually monetizing for you in the app. Is one source in particular driving you high lifetime value? If that's the case, then you want to focus on replicating this kind of activity. I mentioned earlier, crashes and exceptions are really interesting reports for you to understand which versions of OS are causing, crashes. Which Android devices are causing crashes? Is there a reason for this? Are we not optimized for that screen resolution, for example? So you use this report as really kind of powerful data to understand where you could maximize your opportunity for making the user experience consistent and consistently beautiful. Event tracking, again, is really key. So you can define various events that are common goals for you, and then you can see how often these are being triggered and by which types of users. And that just allows you to understand what important activities are happening and why they're happening. And then finally, in-app purchases. So where are users spending money in your app? And if we can find out where that's happening, then replicating that can be really important as well. So that's just a quick, brief overview of analytics and why it's important. I hope you all can see the benefit of actually having that data at your fingertips in order to understand how you can really optimize your app's performance for maximizing revenue and also making your users have the best experience possible.
Fantastic. Great overview, Adam. I wonder if some of our audience are thinking, okay, I love this. I want to implement it. How do I get it? Where do they go and get it?
Okay, so now comes the slightly harder part. So the implementation is actually something which is really key to do right. So we have the Analytics SDK, but what's really exciting is if you're on Android and you're already using the Google Play Services SDK with a recent update, then that already includes the Analytics SDK. So that's one less step for you. The next thing I'd say is log on to our developer webpage. We actually have full implementation instructions where you'll find out how to define events, how to name your screens, how to set up events, and in-app purchase tracking. And we'll share with you the link on the screen. So what I would recommend is go to developers.google.com/analytics/devguides and get started there. We've got full examples of implementation and really, really detailed instructions.
Great. Well, Adam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we hope that this makes your life easier and your AdMob experience more profitable.
Thanks, guys.